Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered where it all began? Not just the universe, but us. Our story. Today, we're going all the way back to the beginning to a story that has shaped how we understand humanity choices and our relationship with God. We're talking about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So, picture this, a perfect place, a paradise called Eden.
Ho, ho, ho!
The Bible, in the book of Genesis, describes it as a beautiful garden, lush and vibrant, filled with every kind of tree that was pleasing to the eye and good for food. God had just created the world, and it was, in His words, very good, and in this perfect garden. God placed the first man, Adam.
Ho, ho, ho!
God gave him a purpose, to work the garden and take care of it. Imagine that your job is to tend to paradise. But God saw that it wasn't good for Adam to be alone. So, He did something incredible. God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and while he was sleeping, He took one of Adam's ribs and fashioned a woman from it.
Ho, ho, ho!
When Adam woke up and saw her, he recognized her as a part of himself, his perfect partner. This was Eve. Together, they were the first family. Living in perfect harmony with God and all of creation, they had everything they could possibly need. And they walked with God in the cool of the day. It was a relationship of pure trust and innocence.
Ho, ho, ho!
God gave them complete freedom in the garden, with just one rule. He said, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." It wasn't about restriction, it was about trust. It was a single boundary that maintained the perfect relationship they had with their Creator.
Ho, ho, ho!
All they had to do was trust and obey. But then, a new voice entered the garden. A serpent, described as more crafty than any other wild animal, came to Eve and started planting seeds of doubt. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? He slyly asked. He twisted God's words, making God sound like a cosmic killjoy holding out on them.
Ho, ho, ho!
Eve corrected him, but the serpent pushed further, flat out contradicting God. "You will not certainly die," he said. "For God knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." This was the ultimate temptation, the desire to be more than they were created to be, to decide for themselves what was right and wrong, instead of trusting God.
Ho, ho, ho!
Eve looked at the fruit. It looked good, it was pleasing to the eye, and it was desirable for gaining wisdom. The temptation was too strong. She took a bite, and then she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it too. In that single act of disobedience, everything changed. The Bible says their eyes were opened, but not in the way they expected.
Ho, ho, ho!
They suddenly felt shame and fear. Their innocence was gone. When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid. The beautiful, open relationship they had was broken by their choice. God called out, "Where are you?" not because He didn't know, but because He was giving them a chance to confess.
Ho, ho, ho!
The consequences were immediate and far-reaching. Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the serpent, but the responsibility was shared. Their choice introduced struggle, pain, and separation from God into the world. They were banished from the Garden of Eden, from that perfect paradise, to prevent them from eating from the tree of life and living forever in their separated state.
Ho, ho, ho!
But even in this moment of judgment, God showed a glimmer of hope. He promised that one day a descendant of Eve would come and crush the serpent's head. For Christians, this is the very first whisper of the good news, a foreshadowing of Jesus, who would come to restore our broken relationship with God. The story of Adam and Eve isn't just an ancient tale, it's our story.
Ho, ho, ho!
It's a story of choices and consequences, of brokenness, but also of a God who, from the very beginning, had a plan for redemption. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the foundational stories of our faith. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
Ho, ho, ho!
Until next time, take care.
Ho, ho, ho!